what's important to me is it's coincident, not causal. President Trump, I believe, picked me because he believed I was the best person for the job.
So Donald Trump and the Republicans have remade the electorate. They've turned some people over from being Democrats or independents to become Republicans.
At the end of the day, what these guys want and what Trump wants is to cut programs that working class people need.
It's a new day in Trump's America. The old is gone. The old ways of the Democrats where they tried flying up, I'd say, starting in the 90s with political correctness, getting you to think about people's preferred status of their skin color or gender to give them preferential treatment. And that meant that if you were just a normal person with merit, you got pushed down. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. This is going to focus on Scott Bessent, who's head of the Treasury, and he's a gay man, Trump's highest picked gay man in history. And I'm going to do a little bit of commentary on this because I oppose same-sex marriage. That's just part of my values. It's been that way all the way back to the beginning of the Bible. But it doesn't mean that you can't hire these guys and have them do a great job. Here's Scott Bessent with Bret Baier.
You're also the highest ranking gay member of the cabinet. Is there history there?
Well, I think I'm actually the highest ranking openly gay official in U.S. history.
That's true.
U.S. history, but what's important to me is it's coincident, not causal. President Trump, I believe, picked me because he believed I was the best person for the job, not because people with green eyes are better Treasury secretaries, not because of sexual preference. It's a different way of looking at the world.
Basically, it's what you've been talking about, merit-based, and we were talking about the history. It's a merit-based thing.
Yeah, look, President Trump, I think, is a symbol of one of the greatest, maybe the greatest cabinet of all time. And we're here to help him push through his agenda. And central to his agenda is the economy and national security. And a lot of that goes on in this building.
Merit-based, get the dang job done. Now, I crewed, that is, hired the crew for many animation companies and video game companies. I was often the lead that would make a decision on who is the writer, who is the storyboard artist, who is the programmer, who is this or that, okay? We never cared if someone was gay. If they are the best person for the job, that's the guy that you want. Why? Because they make you look good when they do killer work. You look like a superstar. When you pick a bunch of superstars, that is their merit. And it was always a false claim that someone made against me that I somehow hated gays or even was a racist, hated blacks because I didn't prefer to hire blacks. I hired the best guys. Lo and behold, you end up hiring some blacks. You end up hiring women. I hired one of the first trans people on my animated series, and everyone's like, ooh, that's so innovative. No, this person was the best person for the job. And then you get nothing but hatred for doing that, for just saying, I just want the best person for the job. Now, so this is the biggest difference between Trump's administration. It shouldn't be a new way of doing things. It's actually the old way of doing things. Blacks did so much better in the 1950s with their own businesses than now. Their marriages held together. They had lower prison rates. They were doing better. Women had less depression, suicidal depression back in the 50s than they do now. So if you take allowing things besides merit way in, you don't fool people. It's like everyone's getting a participation trophy. And the kids, we used to watch them on the soccer team, you know, they'd all get a participation trophy instead of, they don't give away first place anymore. You know, everyone gets a trophy just for participating. The kids knew that these trophies were worthless. They just throw them out. They were meaningless. So it's meaningless to say, you get to be on this team because you're black. And that was how Biden flat out came out and publicly said it. I'm going to pick a black female Supreme Court justice. I'm going to pick a black female vice president. How did Kamala Harris work out when you check those two boxes? And they thought just checking those two boxes is all people need to be vice president. No, it's not enough. You fool. Even Barack Obama, who was black, but he was talented as a politician, that was really what sealed the deal. They didn't just hire any black guy to go in and take the job. And you look at Trump, who said he was not going to pick females. The females, Pam Bondi is an amazing attorney general. She's amazing. Trump picked Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court. One of the earliest picks on the Supreme Court was Clarence Thomas, black man, and the Democrats went nuts. They despise him. So all of that fake kabuki theater of gender, skin color is gone under Trump. Now, does it work? Let's look at Trump's popularity over here on CNN.
Donald Trump and the Republican Party has changed the electorate. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at party identification, Democrats versus Republicans. You go back to 2017, 5 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. You go to 2021 when Joe Biden was starting out, look at that, 6 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. But look at what's happened in February of 2025. Look at this. Republicans, there are more Republicans in the electorate than there are Democrats. Republican +2. So Donald Trump and the Republicans have remade the electorate. They've turned some people over from being Democrats or independents to become Republicans. New folks have entered the electorate who are more Republican leaning. And so when you combine that with the fact that Republicans are really, really behind Donald Trump, all of a sudden you get a winning recipe whereby you break the normal rules of politics and give Donald Trump that positive net approval rating when he had pretty much a consistently negative one in term number one. As I said at the beginning, he's copying Frank Sinatra, doing it my way.
I'll give you one last thing. I want to look at these numbers because I think it's interesting. Take a look at that middle number first. Democrats up 6 in February of 2021. And now Trump is up 2 in 2025. That differential is an 8-point difference, 8 points between 20 and 2025. That 8% could represent the 10 million votes that Joe Biden got in 2020 that vanished in 2025. Not a stolen election, a giant brainwashing by media in 2020 where everyone believed it so much that they went and voted for sleepy Joe Biden and they believed all of the rhetoric of hatred against Trump. And then they had 4 years of living under the reality of that lie, Joe Biden. All of that superstructure fell and they all went to Trump. I believe that is a pretty good explanation of what happened with the electorate. I could be wrong. I know that I have a lot of election deniers in my people who question elections in my audience, and I'm fine with that too, because I believe that's entirely possible. But I'm always looking for an explanation, kind of the why. And I think this it still could be explained organically. Now, here's Bernie Sanders. He's not having any of this. Watch this.
The struggle against Trump, the struggle against oligarchy, which is led by Elon Musk, the struggle against authoritarianism.
He's still stuck on the vocabulary from 2 months ago. Oligarchy and authoritarianism, which this guy, he's a communist.
The fight to make sure that the working class of this country gets a fair shake. That is not going to be won here in Capitol Hill. It's going to be won by millions of people all over this country standing up and saying, you know what, we fought and died for democracy. We're not going to move toward authoritarianism.
Bernie, we just had an election just a couple months ago. The people stood up and they did exactly what you said they're going to do. No, they already did it.
We fought to create a country that works for all, not just the billionaire class. That's the struggle, and I'm going to be active in trying to rally the American people to do just that.
Well, good luck. Good luck, Bernie.
And you're embarking on this tour to combat this. It's a national tour. You're starting in Nebraska and Iowa. How do you break through to people, though? There are some people, Trump voters, who are even independent voters, who like what Elon Musk is doing and say, yeah, the federal government does spend too much money and it is too bloated.
And the truth is, the federal government is a bureaucracy. We have to acknowledge that. Federal government perfect? Far from it. Do we need to bring about reforms? Absolutely. But let us be clear what these guys really want to do. Do you think that Elon Musk is staying up night just worrying about excessive spending?
Yes, that's literally exactly what he does. Now watch Bernie Sanders. Now all communists believe, this is my problem with Marxism, and some of this happens with libertarians too. They believe everything is financial. They don't believe there's such a thing as love or values or family or anything. They go, everything comes down to the dollar. Everyone's bought and sold. So if I'm going to make a prediction here, I haven't watched all of this clip yet. He's going to say that Elon Musk is going to try and do this to make money and help his billionaire friends in Silicon Valley, which Elon Musk has so much money, it's completely abstract to him. He's not trying to stack more bills, okay? He's not in it for the money. And anyone who sees the kinds of companies and innovation that he makes, he's shocking what he's doing with rockets, electric car, grok, satellites. He's not in it for the money. He's an inventor. He's our Leonardo da Vinci.
In the CDC, I don't think so. At the end of the day, what these guys want and what Trump wants is to cut programs that working class people need. They're talking The House Budget Committee released their report, their budget, $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid. Do you know what that means? It's not only that millions of people, kids, are going to be thrown off the health insurance they have, devastating to nursing homes, 40% of the revenue coming into community health centers. 30 million people get their health care, community health centers. That's coming from Medicaid.
They just announced that they found dead people who were 150 years old on Medicaid. And Bernie Sanders is using it as a scare tactic that they're being cut from the rolls.
Cut Medicaid, you're going to dismember an already broken healthcare system. What are they going to do with that
So
money?
he's defending that they're dismembering a broken healthcare system. It's broken, but we have to keep it going. Don't let Elon Musk touch it.
They're going to give it to tax breaks for the richest people in
the rich
America.
people.
Over $1 trillion goes in tax breaks to the top 1%. That is what these guys want. They want more wealth. They want more power. American people are going to have to stop them.
So they want, did you hear that? Trump wants more wealth and more power. So do Elon Musk. And they want to take away your Medicaid. They want to take away health care for people this is insane. This is like a cult. Now we're going to go back to, I just like this was posted by Elon Musk. I just want to go back to that merit-based thing again. This is Secretary Sean Duffy on.
Well, it goes to the point of let's stop pointing fingers at each other and let's do the work now that should have been done 5, 10, 30 years ago. Let's do it today. So just recently, You mentioned DOGE and all the attention that Elon Musk is getting. We want the best and brightest minds in America to come in and help us figure out how we fix the system. So where else do you go but SpaceX? We had some SpaceX engineers go to the FAA and just observe yesterday, Will, and they're going to craft proposals for us, a phased approach on how we might be able to fix the American system.
That's our new transportation secretary, getting guys from SpaceX who put rockets in the air to look at the FAA to oversee what could be going wrong with our airports and our aviation problems. He's brilliant talking about just getting the job done. Compare that to Pete Buttigieg. The previous transportation secretary is who Bernie Sanders is defending and Democrats are defending. It's light and day, guys. It's a new America, and that's why we're happy. I'm Doug in exile.